Okay, I'm sorry to Frieza, but this Majin is cooler. The kids are getting tuckered except for Pansy, who's more worried about getting filthy. She gives us a butt shot, and she gives Goku a pretty cute but also flimsy disguise. I mean, is his hair his only defining characteristic? The boy has tan skin. To better conceal themselves, they put the power pole away too. I don't know if that's it for the pole for good, but I'd probably be satiated. This general audience probably prefers straight up punch fights anyways, and sometimes gimmicks can be distracting, so I feel like I say this, everyone says this every episode, but the art is particularly nice this episode too. Glorio at a slight angle to show how distorted the atmosphere is. Was it a joke too how suspenseful Glorio's like? For security's sake, we'll all stay together in one room, and just to be extra safe, we'll order takeout. Pansy comments how Glorio is rolling in glory dough, and it's probably not from her dad. At this point, it's been abundantly clear to the audience where his dirty money's coming from. They keep alluding to the fact Glorio's up to something, but okay, what are we gonna do about it? Goku just no warning takes the disguise off, and come on. He just waits for the others to turn around and find out, which is crazy. Blowing yet another plan in the process, I swear, why do they even bother? This strung out duck is right too. How obvious is the Dragon Ball bag? Pansy gets her wish, and she is glowing, but she still finds something to nag Goku about. Hey, someone's gotta do it. Just reflecting on how lighthearted and relaxed a large portion of the series is, I've gotta wonder how that'll factor into how the West receives Daima. A lot of people speculate Daima will pick up momentum once it releases internationally, since many people do enjoy this franchise in their native language. Sure, that's one thing, but Z really did burn a specific image into a lot of people's minds about what Dragon Ball's themes are. Even when the Daima dub debuts January 10th, I do wonder how an adventure series will hit with an audience that objectively prefers action. So Goku lets Pansy know he didn't bring any other clothes, and she offers to lend him some. The way he blushes, the hilarious, I'm not into that. Chi-Chi's pretty dominant. I mean, what is she into? They have a snack break, and it's honestly sort of refreshing to see Goku not eat a cartoonishly amount of food. He says he's finally getting used to the grub there, and what does he mean by that? He's cleared every plate he's had so far. Some rowdiness starts occurring nearby, and you can immediately sense it's part of a scheme. Gotta wonder how many of them were in on it. I mean, if this guy who's getting manhandled he's really committed to the bit. Also, do they just completely forget about disguising Goku? Expectantly, they do snag the Dragon Ball while everyone's distracted, and it's the first problem Glorio's gun couldn't solve. Smart of them to plan to sell it too, since it's fairly apparent these guys aren't on Tamagami level. Around the 6th time in 5 minutes you hear Pansy screech, it gets a bit grating. Although, she does make up for it by pulling her weight, such as effectively creating a light Dragon Ball locator. Definitely shows some strong foresight in her, but it makes Goku's dramatic dive out the window seem a bit pointless. The wolf guy transforms back, and it seems like magic. Every demon has at least one trick, but I do wonder if Glorio can transform too. Maybe he'd be a snake. Goku pulling up on them gives us one of the best gags. When characters are so locked in, they don't even question who's speaking anymore. These dudes are bold to duck out on Goku too with the ball. If they're running from him, it's because they know they should be. Really chose money over their lives. I mean, I feel it. The tossing back and forth between them wasn't bad. You can tell they're rehearsed. The fight, if you want to call it that, was pretty short-lived before Goku retrieves the ball. They had the ball, and probably would have been in the clear since it's pretty apparent these guys aren't threats. In my opinion, Glorio's decision to send them blasting off again comes out of pure spite. Afterwards, he pays Pansy some respect, and it comes across as sincere. Feels like the childlike innocence around him might be enough to sway his moral compass. He doesn't come across as evil really, but his partner is a different story. As they get closer to meeting up with the others, I get curious how adding more powerhouses will make their challenges anything other than easier. Could be a nice callback to get some deep interpersonal conflict between Goku and Vegeta since we are dealing with Majins again. Did the masses ever land on what the new Goku and Vegeta fusion will be called? Gogeta is pretty self-explanatory, and Vegito is basically a merging of the two's names in kanji. So maybe we could get something like Gota, or Veku, or maybe Gotaku. Goku offers to stay up and keep watch, and I gotta admire how much at least he wants to stick it out. Though sleep is too crucial, I say, writing this at 1 a.m. Now, Goku and Ko have overcome their bad luck with transportation and passed it on to Bulma and them. First parallel between the two groups of rivals, and it would be sick if Vegeta got a Tamagami to himself. Parallels continue as this all transpired because of a bar fight. A very smooth looking bar fight at that. Thieves calls him out for his bad behavior and Vegeta seems flustered. Could be childlike nerves, but my old prince would have been proud of disposing of those guys. Moments like this drive home how much I sometimes do miss cutthroat Vegeta. He came into our TVs at a time when American television characters were allowed a lot less ambiguity. Vegeta storms in as a historically hostile character, yet a sympathetic one. Truly a mold breaker, and I feel like books will be written for years to come. So, in order to pass time, I would suggest a pretty morbid game where you could lose your life. Like Monopoly. Hope these zombies come up again and isn't just a one-off gag. Bulma notices Hibis's eyeball accessory, and it never even seemed out of place to me. I'd wear it myself if it didn't move, that's a bit much. The way it follows his finger, that eye's got a mind of its own. He says he found it in the mountains, but doesn't specify where. Feels like pieces of a whole being if it's still conscious. Degisu hopped off the phone with info from the others, and I wonder if it was from Aranzu. I'm so thankful for her because I've yet to feel a connection to Goma or Degisu. Goma's just too goofy to be taken seriously as a villain, but isn't entertaining enough for me to enjoy his quirky moments. Why is he surprised that the gang would want to fix this life-altering mess he's created? I bet things will pick up with Degisu once he runs into Shin and Aranzu. That's something to look forward to. Goma's clearly shaken up by how they're progressing and even snaps at his lackey. We've seen what can take place when that happens too much. Degisu's pretty submissive though as he breaks the news of Goku's successes. It's so melodramatic I can't help but wonder if he's faking it. Goma brings up the third eye again, an instant connection that's what's on Hibis's belt. Really spelt that one out and it actually ties Hibis into the plot. Would love to see Goma try and snatch it from him. Maybe Hibis is stronger than Beerus. Finally, after all this time, the gang's all here. Such a feel-good moment, including Vegeta snapping at Kakarot. Nice to see Bulma greet Pansy first, like she can sense their like-mindedness. In fact, she doesn't acknowledge Glorio at all, a little rude. Vegeta's eager to get a move on, and this could start to address a problem some people have had with Daima. Some people think Daima is focusing too much on Goku. Personally, I think that's silly, and a remnant of Super's effect which treated Vegeta much more like a deuteragonist. Even in Z, so much of the suspense was waiting for Goku to show up, and now there's too much of him? It is tricky though, since I can understand the desire to see more of this incredible and fleshed out cast outside of Goku. Unfortunately, there's not enough space for everyone on the ship, literally and metaphorically, so I guess they'll all split up. Again? Immediately? That is such another tease. What was the point? I suppose for Goku to toss Goma to Vegeta like a ragdoll. I wouldn't even want Vegeta to fight Goma. Let Piccolo do it. Big Green's due for a spotlight episode. I think they are telling us Goku won't fight Goma though, and to be fair, he's got nothing to gain, unlike with the Tamagami, so it makes sense. They get confronted by some boy band rejects who are out for blood. Hibis checks himself out humbly, but I don't know, maybe he's selling himself short. They are brazen about inconveniencing Vegeta, who has some energy to burn. At first, I thought Hibis was shaking from anxiety at the key, but he was just trying to pop some chips. Coming off the last fight with the Tamagami, this one has some big shoes to fill. Contrast to Goku, Vegeta doesn't let his foes warm up, it's one-hit kills. I wasn't expecting too much, but the brief scenes we got all had something to offer. If anything will get the hype up, it's Vegeta, and Daima knows that. Probably why they've used him so sparingly for the build-up so far. And Piccolo gets one punch in too, just so we don't forget he's there. Vegeta's annoyed comment how that was barely a time killer is almost like a fourth wall break that the Z-Fighters have mostly been coasting by so far. Got a kick out of Bulma's lack of reaction to it all, just another day with Vegeta for her. Finally, with so much suspense and build-up for her, comes to a boil. Marva's been cooking for a while too, allegedly being the creator of both Majins and Cybermen. She is Yamcha's 13th reason. Makes you wonder too who was the first to plant the seeds in your planet Vegeta. Aranzu somehow mentally measures 5 centimeters and plants the seed. They water it like Cybermen plant people too. In a grand display of CGI erupts Aranzu's wishes. This new Majin coup is like an unholy amalgamation. Aranzu wastes no time with introductions and gets straight to commands. It's given a Tamagami target and its response is articulate. Definitely hope that's something we get to see in depth. Crazy though, stature of and more strength than Kid Buu, but with coherent thoughts. can already see problems arising. Man, one of Daima's biggest reveals. Some sort of combination of Kid Buu, Cybermen, and Aranzu. Oh, he favors all his parents. He's got Aranzu's pointy ears, the same pumped out chest and drip of Kid Buu, then the Cybermen's color palettes. Like, they accomplished what they're going for, but the problem is, I don't feel it's distinct enough. You'll see it and think of all the characters that came before. That's sort of my main issue with Daima, not enough memorable characters. I swear, Hebus is carrying. Aranzu's a very compelling character, but she's had a collective 10 minutes of screen time. Even the Tamagami fight, amazing, but people won't be talking about Tamagami number 1 in 10 years. Sure, things are definitely going to pick up now that more of the main cast has arrived, but I want Daima to introduce more original standout characters, because Glorio and his mysteriousness only goes so far. So, I give Thieves a 7 out of 10.